A man can lose money. He can lose opportunities. He can even lose people he loves. But if he loses self-respect, he loses everything. Self-respect is the quiet armor no one sees. It's the invisible shield that keeps your dignity intact. It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It's knowing your worth without needing to shout it. In the modern world, distractions are endless. Approval is a currency, and too many men trade away their self-respect for attention they don't even need. They forget that the way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. Without self-respect, you become negotiable, replaceable. You bend to every demand. You break your own rules just to be liked. You stay in places that drain you because you're afraid to walk away. But a man with self-respect moves differently. He doesn't beg for love. He doesn't compromise his principles. He doesn't compete for validation. He doesn't lose himself in the process of trying to keep someone else. He lives by standards that are not for sale. His boundaries are not flexible depending on who's asking. He values his peace more than any argument. He values his path more than any detour. The Stoics taught this thousands of years ago, that the greatest victory is mastery over the self. That freedom is the ability to choose your response, even when the world tries to provoke you. That dignity is not a performance, it is a way of being. This is not a guide on how to win with women. It is a guide on how to win with yourself. Because when you hold yourself with respect, you naturally attract relationships built on respect. In this video, we'll explore 10 things a man with self-respect will never do with women. Each one is a standard, a line in the sand, a choice that says, this is who I am and this is what I will not compromise. Listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your life. Because the moment you live by these, you stop chasing approval and you start walking with dignity. Number 1. Beg for love or attention. A man without self-respect becomes a shadow, always following, always waiting for someone else to decide his worth. He sends message after message. He waits by the phone. He rearranges his life for the smallest chance to be noticed. But attention gained through begging is never true attention. Love given out of pity is not love at all. The Stoics understood this clearly. They taught that to need what is outside your control is to be enslaved by it. When you beg for love, you hand over your freedom. You say, without words, I cannot stand on my own. A man with self-respect refuses this posture. He knows attraction is not born from desperation. It is born from strength, purpose, and inner peace. Effort is good. Pursuit can be noble. But there is a thin line between expressing genuine interest and erasing yourself to be chosen. Many men cross that line without even knowing it. They say yes when they mean no. They cancel important commitments. They let their values bend just to keep someone close. This is not devotion. It is fear wearing the mask of romance. Self-respect means you can give without losing. It means you can invite without chasing. It means you can love without begging to be loved back. If a connection requires you to kneel, it is not a connection worth keeping. If someone only notices you when you beg, then they do not truly see you. The harder path is to step back, to let go of what will not come freely, to focus your energy on becoming the kind of man whose presence commands attention without a single request. Because real love is never taken by force. It is never the result of pleading. It is offered willingly to a man who already knows his worth and never needs to beg to be seen. Number 2. Break your own principles to please her. A man's principles are the spine of his character. Without them, he bends to every passing wind. When you compromise your core values just to win someone's approval, you're not gaining love. You're losing yourself. The Stoics taught that virtue is the only true good. Everything else, status, comfort, Even romance is secondary. If you give up your virtue to keep a relationship, then you've traded something priceless for something temporary. It starts small. You agree to things that don't feel right. You laugh at jokes that go against your values. You nod along when your heart says no. You justify it, telling yourself, it's not a big deal, it's for love. But every time you cross your own line, the line moves. Your boundaries blur. Soon, you're living by someone else's rules instead of your own. A man with self-respect draws his boundaries with clarity. He says, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. And if someone tries to push him off that ground, he stands firm even if it costs him the relationship. This is not stubbornness. It's integrity. And integrity is magnetic. People may not always agree with you, but they will respect you for holding the line. The truth is, if she only loves you when you betray yourself, then she doesn't love you. She loves the version of you she can control, and that version is a mask you'll grow to hate. Better to lose someone than to lose your own soul. Better to walk alone on solid ground than to walk with someone on a path that leads you away from yourself. A man who honors his principles commands quiet respect from others and from himself. And that self-respect no one can take away. Number 3, lose control of emotions in conflict. A man without control over his emotions is a man without control over his life. Conflict reveals this faster than anything else. Anyone can be calm when the waters are still. It's when the storm hits the argument, the accusation, the insult, that your discipline is tested. The Stoics taught that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgment about them. When you react with shouting, swearing, or slamming doors, you hand over your power. You let the other person decide who you become in that moment. Think about it. If someone can make you lose your composure with a few words, they own you. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally. Self-respect demands restraint. It doesn't mean you bury your feelings. It means you respond with intention, not impulse. Picture a soldier in battle. If he fires wildly every time he hears a sound, he wastes ammunition and reveals his position. If he stays steady, aims, and fires only when necessary, he survives. Conflict works the same way. In heated moments, silence is not weakness. It's strategy. It buys you time to think. It protects your dignity. Losing control may win you the argument, but it will lose you the respect, hers and yours. Because after the heat fades, what remains is the memory of how you acted. A man with self-respect doesn't allow anger to dictate his words. He chooses them. He doesn't let pride turn into recklessness. He turns conflict into an opportunity to demonstrate strength, the kind that is calm, precise, and unshakable. The world will keep testing your patience. Let each test remind you, control of yourself is the highest form of power. Number 4, accept disrespect. Disrespect is a boundary test. Each time you allow it, the line moves. Each time you excuse it, the bar drops. In the end, you are training someone how to treat you. A man with self-respect does not accept disrespect. Not once. Not quietly. Not as a one-time thing. The Stoics taught that character is shown in choices. You cannot choose another person's behavior. You can choose your response. You can choose your standards. Disrespect takes many forms. Sarcasm that cuts. Public belittling. Silent contempt. Broken promises delivered with a grin. Excuses stacked on excuses. If you tolerate these, you tell her who you are. A man who fears conflict more than he values dignity. A man who would rather keep the peace outside and lose it inside. That is not strength. That is surrender. Calm does not mean compliant. Kindness does not mean permissive. Forgiveness does not mean access without change. State your boundary clearly. One sentence is enough. I will not stay in conversations where I am insulted. I will continue this later when we speak with respect. Then follow through. Every time. You do not threaten. You do not lecture. You do not perform. You act. If disrespect continues, you create distance. You step away for an hour, a day, a season, whatever it takes to protect your peace. Some will call this harsh. It is not. It is precise. It is the discipline of valuing what should be valued. A relationship cannot grow where contempt lives. Trust cannot breathe where ridicule rules. Love cannot stand where dignity is removed. Choose environments that honor you. Choose partners who speak with care. Choose yourself when others refuse to. This is not about control. It is about self-command. Refuse disrespect. Consistently, quietly, firmly. Because the moment you accept disrespect, you teach the world how to break you. And the moment you refuse it, you teach the world how to meet you. Number 5. Abandon life goals for a relationship. A man without direction is a man adrift. When you give up your dreams to keep someone, you are not choosing love. You are choosing to erase yourself. The Stoics taught that purpose is not a luxury. It is the foundation of a life worth living. Your goals are not distractions from love, they are what make you whole. When you abandon them, you shrink. You silence the part of you that once woke up eager. You trade the fire in your eyes for the comfort of approval. In the beginning, she may admire the sacrifice. She may call it romantic. But over time, she will see what you have lost. The drive, the edge, the sense of direction that drew her in. Respect fades when a man no longer respects himself. A healthy relationship should strengthen your mission, not replace it. The right partner walks beside you, not in place of your path. She celebrates your victories because they are part of who you are. She does not demand you bury them to make her feel secure. Ask yourself, if you let go of your vision, who are you left with? A version of yourself built to keep the peace. A man who avoids discomfort by avoiding growth. That is not love. That is fear wearing love's mask. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's worth is measured by the object of his pursuit. If the object is approval, your worth will rise and fall with her moods. If the object is purpose, no one can take it from you. Protect your ambitions as you would protect your home. Guard them from erosion. Feed them even when the world demands you starve them. Because one day, if the relationship ends, your goals will be the ground you land on. And if it lasts, they will be the wings that keep you both moving forward. Never abandon the work that makes you proud, the path that gives your life weight, the mission that will outlive you. Love deeply, commit fully, but never at the cost of becoming a ghost in your own story. Number 6. Chase someone who chooses to leave. When she chooses to leave, let her. Chasing does not create love. It creates distance. It turns dignity into noise. A man with self-respect does not run after closed doors. He does not plead for what refuses to stay. He knows that love must be chosen on both sides to be real. The Stoics taught us to focus on what is within our control. Her decision is not. Your response is. You can send the long message. You can promise to change everything. You can try to remind her of the best days. But understand this. Decisions are rarely reversed by desperation. Chasing costs you twice. You lose her, then you lose yourself. Letting go is not cold. It is clarity. It is the quiet choice to protect your peace when the bond has broken. Think of the man who begs. His presence is heavy. His words are crowded. He tries to sell himself back to someone who has already stopped buying. Now think of the man who steps aside. He accepts reality without resentment. He keeps his schedule. He keeps his standards. He allows time to reveal what is true. Which man would you rather be? This is not about pride. It is about principle. Self-respect means you do not audition for a role that has been written out. If she leaves, wish her well. Do not chase her shadow. Return to the work that makes you strong. Return to the people who choose you without pressure. If reconciliation ever comes, it will not be because you begged. It will be because both people returned as equals. Until then, walk forward. Build your life with intention. Let your calm be your statement. Let your actions say what words cannot. I am a man with a path. I will not lose it to keep what refuses to stay. Because the right person will not need to be chased. She will choose to stand beside you. Freely. Clearly. Without force. Number 7. Overshare personal vulnerabilities too soon. Some truths need time. Not because they are lies, but because they are precious. A man with self-respect understands the weight of his own story. He does not throw it onto the table at the first meeting, like loose change for anyone to take. Trust is built in layers. Slow, deliberate, earned. When you reveal too much, too soon, you give someone the blueprint to your weaknesses. Before you know if they'll use it to help you or to hurt you. It might feel like openness. It might feel like connection. But sometimes it's just giving away the deepest parts of yourself to someone who hasn't earned the key. The Stoics understood this. They guarded their inner world, not out of fear, but out of discipline. They shared when it served reason, not impulse. If she is the right person, there will be time to share, time to unfold your past, your fears, your struggles, piece by piece, when the foundation is strong enough to hold it. And if she is not, then you have lost nothing. Your heart remains intact. Your dignity remains whole. Oversharing is not honesty. Honesty is telling the truth at the right time, to the right person, in the right way. Let her discover you as one discovers a good book, page by page, chapter by chapter. Not all at once, in a flood that washes away the mystery. Because mystery is not deception. It is protection. It is self-respect. When you hold back, you are not hiding. You are choosing. You are telling the world, my story is valuable, and I will not hand it to just anyone. A man who respects himself does not give away his depths for free. He lets time decide who is worthy to hear them. And he understands. The right woman will never rush that. She will honor the pace. She will honor the man. Number 8. Define worth by sexual access. Some men measure their value by the number of women they've been with. They wear it like a trophy. They believe conquest equals worth. But this is an illusion, a fragile one. Because if your worth comes from how many women desire you, it can be taken away the moment they don't friendship. The Stoics remind us, your value is not determined by the crowd, the applause, or the attention. It comes from the kind of man you are when no one is watching. From your virtues, your discipline, your ability to live by your principles. When you define yourself by sexual access, you make yourself a slave to validation. You'll compromise values to impress. You'll seek situations just to prove you still have it. And in doing so, you lose the very self-respect you think you're proving. The truth is, intimacy is not a scoreboard. It's not a currency. It's not a replacement for purpose. Men with self-respect don't chase experiences to fill a void. They don't need to be desired by many to feel valuable to themselves. They invest in becoming men of substance. Because when you carry yourself with quiet strength, respect follows naturally from men and women alike. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The value of a man is measured by the things he pursues. If you pursue numbers, you'll be worth a number. If you pursue character, you'll be worth a legacy." Self-respect means knowing your worth before you enter any bedroom. It means walking away from anything that would make you smaller, even if it feeds your ego in the moment. It's about building a life so full of meaning that no conquest could ever define you. Number 9. Stay in an environment that kills peace. Some men will stay in chaos simply because it's familiar. They convince themselves that conflict is just part of every relationship, that walking on eggshells is normal, that losing sleep, feeling anxious, and questioning themselves daily is simply the price of love. It's not. It's the price of neglecting your own dignity. A man with self-respect knows that peace is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's the foundation for every other part of life. Without it, your work suffers. Your health suffers. Your ability to think clearly disappears. The Stoics taught that your mind is your kingdom. If you allow constant noise, disrespect, or manipulation to rule it, you become a prisoner in your own life. You can't build strength in an environment that drains it. You can't grow while surrounded by storms that never end. Sometimes, the most courageous act is not to fight harder for the relationship. It's to walk away and protect the silence that makes you strong. Because peace is not found in the absence of challenges. It's found in the absence of what corrodes your soul. If someone's presence continually destroys your stillness, it doesn't matter how much history you share. It doesn't matter how much you once loved them. Your peace must come first. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." The same applies here. Be content to be misunderstood for leaving. Be content to be judged by those who don't live inside your mind. You don't need permission to choose calm over chaos. And you don't need to explain why you left a place that made you smaller. Your peace is proof enough. Number 10. Compete for her validation. A man with self-respect doesn't live to win a race for a woman's approval, because in that race, there is no finish line. The moment you start competing for her validation, you give away the steering wheel of your life. You make her opinion the measure of your worth, and that is a dangerous place to live. In the beginning, it may seem harmless, maybe even exciting. You try harder, dress better, work more, achieve more, all with one eye on whether she notices. But over time, your actions stop being yours. They become performances for an audience of one. Your identity becomes something you hand over, waiting for her to stamp it as good enough. The Stoics warned against this trap. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not the opinion of others that matters, but your own opinion of yourself." If you can only feel valuable when she praises you, then she controls your peace. If her silence makes you doubt yourself, then you've already lost the battle within. Validation is a fleeting currency. One day you might have it, the next day you don't. Chasing it turns you into a shadow, always reacting, never leading. And the more you compete, the less you stand out. Because you stop being authentic. You become a reflection of what you think she wants, not who you truly are. A man with self-respect stands on his own foundation. He does not crumble when approval is withheld. He does not inflate when it is given. His value is steady, rooted in character, not applause. Remember, respect is earned, not demanded. And it is earned most by those who don't beg for it, fight for it, or compete for it, but by those who simply live in a way that commands it. When you stop trying to win a contest you never signed up for, you free yourself. You stop living in reaction. You start living in truth. And that is the kind of man both the Stoics and the world respect without question. Self-respect is not an act. It is not a performance for the world to see. It is not a mask you wear when people are watching. It is who you are when no one is looking, when there is nothing to gain and nothing to lose except your dignity. A man with self-respect does not chase approval. He does not need to dominate anyone. He needs only to govern himself. That is the true battlefield, not the one out there, but the one inside. These 10 principles are not tricks to win someone's affection. They are not tactics to make you seem alpha or untouchable. They are lines you draw for yourself. They tell the world and remind yourself, This is who I am. This is what I will not compromise. When you live by these boundaries, you don't just keep your dignity, you build it. You send a silent message. My value is not up for negotiation. It is not dependent on your approval, your attention, or your presence. People may respect you. Some may be drawn to you. Others may walk away. All of it is fine, because your worth was never in their hands. Now is the moment to reflect. Look at the 10 principles we have walked through. Which ones have you upheld? Which ones have you let slip? Have you sacrificed your dreams for comfort? Have you tolerated disrespect for fear of being alone? Have you lost yourself trying to please someone else? This is not about blame. This is about truth. It is about deciding right here, right now, that your self-respect is not for sale. Remember this: the world will test you. Life will push you to the edge. People will tempt you to trade your dignity for approval. But the man who guards his self-respect, the man who lives by these quiet, unshakable boundaries, will not break, will not bow. And when the storms pass, he will still be standing. In the end, self-respect is not about being admired. It is about being able to look in the mirror and say, without hesitation, I did not betray myself.